Hi, HMR community. Coach Jennifer here, and I'm so excited to be making my Facebook debut. I have been a health coach here with HMR for over 11 years. I was in our clinic setting, and now I work for our remote program as a health coach, and so good to see some people hopping on. And so I currently work in our Healthy Solutions at Home program, where I'm a health coach as well as a program specialist. So happy to be here today. And so I want you guys to come on in, sit into my kitchen and settle in, because we are in the last 2 months of 2019, believe it or not, and just seems crazy. And we're gonna find ourselves in some challenging situations, especially as if you're working to be in the box in phase 1, or maybe managing your calories in phase 2. So if that's your goal of what you're looking to do. And so we are coming up on some pretty big challenges here. So great to have you guys hopping on. Make sure to like or comment, show me some love. Would love to see who's on. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Again, I'm Coach Jennifer, and I'm one of the health coaches with HMR. And so we're just here talking about Thanksgiving. And so we are all going to be talking about Thanksgiving today. So let me ask a question. Who's a little bit nervous about Thanksgiving and either being in phase 1 or really trying to protect your calories in phase 2? Anyone? I know I am, for sure, definitely nervous because it is a very challenging time of the year, especially when you're keeping up some healthy lifestyle behaviors. So, I mean, this is the holiday that is centered around food. And if you're not prepared, it can be super easy to get a lot of extra calories. I mean, let's face it, even if you do have a plan and you are prepared, the potential to have some additional calories coming in is really, there's all kinds of opportunities. So again, hi everyone, thank you so much for hopping on. So good to see your names, and make sure you're commenting below and showing me some love. All right, and so what we're going to be doing today is really be thinking about what we can have in our arsenal so that we can stay on track during this holiday season. And I'm going to be preparing 3 dishes for you today that you may want to add on to your menu for Thanksgiving Day. And as we're going through the different recipes, we have Thanksgiving in a dish. We also have super filling stuffing, and then caramel apple pudding. So really looking forward to sharing these recipes with you. So have a seat. I want you guys commenting and sharing some of your challenges, as well as just saying hi. Also want to make sure that you have maybe a piece of paper so that you can write down any of these strategies that you hear, or even potentially jot down some of these recipes, which of course they're all going to be found on our website at www.hmrprogram.com, and you can find those recipes. So let's go ahead and really dive on in. And if you are joining me, hi, I'm Jennifer, health coach here with HMR. And so before we get cooking, I do want to just get real about Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving Day. And to do this, I'm going to share my typical Thanksgiving Day with you. And so what this looks like is my mom always host Thanksgiving on Thursday, and it is always at 1 o'clock. And so, just checking my comments here. So it's always at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so we typically get there about, 12, maybe 11:30, since it's at my mom's house. And then we're chit-chatting, potentially having some appetizers, maybe some drinks. And then it's time for the meal. So 1 o'clock, and everybody gets in line. It's big countertop full of food that you could honestly feed an army several times. At my mom's house, she always cooks way too much food. And then so you go through, you fix your first plate, we finish, and then the desserts come out. And then everybody has desserts, and then after that, we do take some time to, just chat, maybe go outside and play some cornhole, potentially just playing cards. So, just spending basically the whole day together on Thanksgiving Day. Then, as you can imagine, a couple hours pass, 2-3 hours, and what do you think is going to happen? So we bring out all the food again, get in our line and go through that line, and make our second plate of food plus an additional dessert. And so if this is sounding familiar, if this is sounding like a Thanksgiving that you have, if it is traditional to what you do with your family, then definitely comment below or like or love it. Because I think many of us have our holiday traditions that we get into. I am so excited to have you guys joining us. And so one thing that I want to just take a pause, and really it's the reason why we're here today, to really get a good look at some of the calories that potentially could happen, and then arm ourselves against this so that we can stay on track through this Thanksgiving holiday and into the new year. And so what I want you to do with me is I want everyone to put themselves in, on Thanksgiving Day, kind of in that place of walking through the line, fixing your plate. I'm going to give everybody a second to get there with me. So excited to have you guys joining us. And so when you fix this plate, there's probably your typical fixins that you have. So there's turkey, there's stuffing, there's mashed potatoes, right? You're also going to have green beans, because you can't have mashed potatoes and the stuffing without the gravy. And then you're going to have candied yams. And of course, we can't forget about the cranberry sauce. And of course, dessert, you're going to have pumpkin pie. So just a piece of pumpkin pie. Now, I want everyone to be kind of picturing this plate of food. You have turkey, you have stuffing, you have mashed potatoes, gravy, green beans, candied yams, cranberry sauce. You also have your piece of pumpkin pie. So imagine that in your head, and I want you all to take a guess. How many calories do you think potentially in this plate of food? We have turkey, we have stuffing, we have mashed potatoes, green beans, candied yams, and of course the cranberry sauce, and then the pumpkin pie. So take a minute to get your kind of guesses in there. I'm going to be checking the comments, and for some reason I'm not seeing them. 1 second here. I see lots of comments that are there, but unfortunately I'm not seeing them. But 1 second. Sorry about that, you guys. So let me just check in here. And so definitely see some more comments coming in, and unfortunately I can't see them. So hopefully you guys are getting your guesses for the plate of food that we just kind of imagined as we made our first run on Thanksgiving Day. So believe it or not, and we actually measured this. And so, I mean, I don't know many people that actually measure on Thanksgiving, but we measured to get around about calorie-wise. And you all ready for this? So drum roll, the plate of food that we just went through has 3,250 calories. So that was the turkey, dressing, or stuffing, I'm sorry, we call it here dressing, your mashed potatoes, gravy, green beans. This was also your candied yams, and of course cranberry sauce and pumpkin pie. So 3,250 calories. And so hopefully some of you will have seen that guesses. And let me see if I can see this now. 1 second here. Don't you love computers? Sometimes they best thing, but then when you want them to work, they don't. All right, so unfortunately, I see so many comments coming in. I will definitely be checking in and seeing these comments, but 3,250 calories in that first plate of food, and that also included your dessert. Now, if your Thanksgiving is anything like mine, then you hung out after a while, you played cards, you know, just had some family time, and then of course it came back out again. And so there's potential, another plate of food plus a dessert. And so as you can imagine, you know, this day could really be a high calorie day. And so let that sink in. 2 plates of food, potentially, 2 desserts, and we're not even talking about appetizers or the little nibbles. I know deviled eggs are always at my mom's house. So we're not talking about those little bites that we're also getting. This is just in the plate of food. And so potentially over 6,000 calories within, you know, those 2 kind of runs through the Thanksgiving meal. And I also think we're being pretty conservative because I know there's some additional items at my Thanksgiving besides what we just kind of went through and mentioned. So sky's the limit, really, you guys, on the calories that we could get into. And this is why we're here. And this is why I'm so excited to have you guys joining me tonight. And because we are going to be talking about that. We're going to be planning how you can get through this Thanksgiving holiday successful and also on track with your weight and your health, as well as these behaviors. And so again, if you're just joining me, Coach Jennifer here, and we are talking all Thanksgiving and how you can come out with a plan and some strategies to help you to not only you know, still be on track with your goals, but also you can also be, you can be on track with your goals and still enjoy your family and still enjoy the holiday, because to be quite honest, this is my favorite time of the year. I love the last quarter with all the things that you get together with family members and friends. And I mean, we have the Friendsgiving, I think that's what it's called. So there's just all kinds of get-togethers and just good times. So we want you to still enjoy the good time, but also stay with your goals in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and if you're in phase 1 or if you're in phase 2, so of course our goal in phase 1 is to help support you to not only to meet your minimums for the day, but to also to stay in the box, so on the diet. And then if you're in phase 2, we're also working to support you to manage your calories. Now, as I'm going through these different dishes, I want you to be thinking about one thing that you're committing to do on Thanksgiving Day that's really going to help you to stay on track over this holiday. So again, make sure you're commenting below. I see some signs. So I know you guys are pretty shocked about the calories, but I won't get distracted by that. But all right, so again, want you all to be commenting in the comments your one strategy, one thing that you're committing to do on this day to help you to stay on track. And you know, if it's not coming right off the top of your head, hopefully by the end, we'll have some nice strategies that you can pull from so that you can plug that in the comments. And make sure to comment, because other people are going to be checking in and seeing this, and we are definitely one community. It takes a whole village, right, to get through this holiday season. So the first dish that I am going to be making is Thanksgiving in a dish, and literally everything's in it. And this is a healthy solutions recipe, but of course you can make this a decision-free without some of the vegetables and use some of them. But so the meal replacements that we're going to be using for this dish is the HMR chicken soup. So I have a pack of HMR chicken soup. We're also going to be using the savory chicken entree. And I would assume that, you know, the whole grain medley, if you don't necessarily have the savory chicken, would be awesome in this dish as well. So additional ingredients for Thanksgiving in a dish is we are going to do 2 cups of peas and carrots. You can do frozen, my youngest. So I'm going to put this in this skillet. So that's two cups of peas and carrots in there, and you can of course just use frozen. And then we're also going to do a half a cup of celery and a half a cup of onions. So I just used frozen onions. You could do fresh if you wanted, and then I did fresh celery. So let's put that in there. So I'm going to get this started sauteing, and for the sake of being live and kind of basically showing you guys, I would spend about 4 to 5 minutes sauteing these vegetables until the onions get kind of transparent for that. So while that's kind of simmering and getting going, you'll also want to make, like I mentioned, the chicken soup. And so what we're going to do here is we are my savory chicken, and we have our chicken soup here. And so I have 1 cup of hot water kind of going. So you'll have this hot water. You're going to pour it in so that you can get your chicken soup nice and all together. I like doing a whisk. You could use a fork with your soup. So you're just going to open that right up. Put this in here. And then we're going to whisk this up. And so as we're doing this, I'm also going to add in 1 teaspoon of poultry seasoning. So this spice right here is basically Thanksgiving. It's all the flavors and all the things that you think of when you think of Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on here. So we have our 1 teaspoon of poultry seasoning. So we're going to get that stirring up. So it does help with the whisk, and if your water is really hot, it does help with the chicken soup. So we're going to get that stirred up. And then we're going to go ahead and pour this sauce into with the vegetables. So get that going and stir this up. So it's super quick and easy. And I would also recommend, like, if any of these dishes sound really good to you, that you give it a dry run. See how it tastes. Go ahead and try it once, because you'd hate to get to Thanksgiving Day and then you not like it. I don't think that's going to happen. But you definitely want to do a dry run so that you can make sure that you have something that you're going to be taking to Thanksgiving that you're going to enjoy. All right. So now we have the savory chicken entree. And what you want to do, I went ahead and cut up the chicken. And so you will want to cut up that chicken into little cubes, or just little pieces, and then stir that in there. So get the whole savory chicken entree. And like I mentioned before, this may be a good one to do with the whole grain. I have not made it with the whole grain, but I would say it has a lot of the similar flavors of this entree, which is really delicious. Both of them are really good and just can act as a base to attract all of these other flavors. So once you've kind of got that all together and mixed it in, you can do this in the microwave. I think it's really good in the oven. And so if you choose to do it in the microwave, you can, of course, do that for 3 to 5 minutes in a casserole dish. But if you choose to do it in the oven, then you're going to want to put the oven at 350 and then bake at for 30 minutes. And so we have all our concoction together. I'm going to show you this really good, real quickly. Move some stuff out of the way. And so we have, if you can see here, the HMR chicken soup, 2 cups of frozen peas and carrots, your celery and onions. So if you're just joining me, welcome. Coach Jennifer here. And you're just in my kitchen and we're cooking up some things that could potentially be on your menu. So just looking at the time, so we need to get going here. So we have, turn it off, our Thanksgiving in a dish. It's a little bit hot. So I'm going to get that going. And so we have Thanksgiving in a dish. Absolutely, look at that. Doesn't that just look delicious? And so, of course, when you cook something, you got to try it out. And so we have the savory chicken, the soup, the peas. Nice. It really does just taste like Thanksgiving, and I have to have another bite. Okay, so while we have that, highly recommend that one on your menu. It's really, really good. And of course, do your dry run for that so that you can check it out. But I'm a foodie, and I don't fib about food, and that's absolutely delicious. All right, so the next one we are going to be looking at is stuffing. So yes, you can enjoy stuffing on this day, and we've got your back. We're going to hook you up with some recipes. And so again, if you're just joining, I want you to make sure to share in the comments one thing that you are committing to do on Thanksgiving Day that's really going to help you to stay on track over the Thanksgiving holiday. So our next dish is going to be our stuffing. And the meal replacements that you're going to want to use, and this is a decision-free recipe. So all of these could definitely be changed to fit your appropriate diet or which phase you're in, phase 1 or phase 2. So this specific one, we are going to be using the multigrain cereal. So multigrain cereal. We're also going to use our chicken soup because, of course, we're going to get some of those Thanksgiving flavors, and our mushroom risotto entree. So this one is pretty easy to do. So you're basically just going to follow the instructions that are on the packet. So you're going to heat up the mushroom risotto. As it says, I always like to keep it in the box 1 minute, vent the lid, take it out there. So we have that in there. I'm going to go ahead and get my cereal out. So you'll make the cereal according to the packet, and then you're just going to mix the two together. So let me go ahead and open this up. So we have our mushroom risotto entree that we heated up in the microwave. We are also going to have our cereal, our multigrain cereal that we heat it up in the microwave. So as you can imagine, for the sake of time to protect, it's gotten a little bit thicker, so it'll be a little bit more thin and have a little bit more water. So you can always add more water to this if needed, if it gets thick on you. So just stir this one together. This specific recipe calls for a bell seasoning, and this is a New England spice that is a fancy poultry seasoning. So if you have trouble finding this seasoning, the bell seasoning, you can just use regular poultry seasoning. So you're going to put 1 teaspoon of the poultry seasoning in here. Put it all together. And then you're also going to do a packet of the soup. So you're going to put this in dry. So have that flavor of the Thanksgiving in a dish. It's so good. Can't wait to finish that off tonight. All right, so we're going to be stirring this up, making sure everything's just mixed together. This is what it's looking like. And then you will also want to put this in the oven at 375 for 30 minutes. So it does take a little bit to get that all mixed up together. Not too long though. And so 30 minutes in the oven at 375. And believe it or not, here we are. So we have our stuffing that we're going to eat for Thanksgiving, and you may want to make 2 batches of this because it's absolutely just reminds you so much of Thanksgiving. So there you go. You can be in phase 1 and in the box and have your stuffing too. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a go, which I know this is really, really good too. Amazing that something sweet like the multigrain cereal can be so savory in this dish with the mushroom risotto. Even if you don't like the mushroom risotto, it's not one of my favorites, but I love it in the stuffing, and I also love it paired with other entrees. So don't just shy away from this just because it's got maybe an entree that you don't really enjoy or it's not your favorite. Crazy that you can have stuffing and still be on the diet. So write this one down, you guys. So good. And here we are. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Jennifer, and I am a health coach with HMR. We're talking about Thanksgiving and going through some potential menu items that you may want to add. And I'm going to say the best for last, which is dessert. And so this is going to be our caramel or apple caramel pudding, and so good. So you're going to use the 70 plus vanilla that makes a really great pudding. We're also going to have an apple and cinnamon and our sugar-free caramel syrup. So we have this. And I cut up my apple that I used was Pink Lady. There's so many great apples right now, so you can try various ones. So we have the Pink Lady in here. So I did cube it up, 1 apple in here, and then put it in the microwave for about 3 minutes. So we have that apple good, and so if you like it a little bit soft, I would recommend 3 minutes. If you want it a little bit more tender, maybe 2. You can just try it out minute by minute. And 70 plus is so easy to make. I'm going to go ahead and make that here. So I have 1 packet of 70 plus. Sorry guys, we're running. So we're going to be whipping this up. And one thing that I think I may have forgotten to mention, before you put the apple in the microwave, you are going to want to put cinnamon on it. I love cinnamon, so it's just basically a dash, but you don't even have, if you don't like cinnamon, you don't have to put cinnamon on there. So getting this made, and this just smells so good. And then the cinnamon and the apple, and then you're going to put a tablespoon of the sugar-free caramel syrup. This specific one is Torani. So get that in there. So you're getting this in there, and all right, you guys, I had the biggest sweet tooth, so dessert is always my favorite, and I love having a win when it comes to I can have kind of my cake and eat it too, literally on here. So you're gonna get that in there. And then stir it in. So definitely being sensitive to the clock, and I know I'm over, so I apologize. I was a little bit worried I would do it too fast. I should have known myself. So here we are. We have the caramel apple pudding here. Or I'm sorry, apple caramel pudding. I think we've put it spiced apple. Also, something else that would be really good would be sugar-free butterscotch pudding. So you can add any of your flavors in here. And of course, I got to taste it. This is my favorite by far. All right. So I hope that you guys are enjoying the recipes. Write it down, add it to your grocery list so that you can enjoy these delicious, delicious dishes. Sorry, this one is just so good. You have got to try this. If you haven't already, must. All right. So as I've been working on or cooking, we have been talking about adding down at least one thing that you're committed to doing on Thanksgiving to help support you to stay on track. So unfortunately, I cannot see the comments below. So I will make sure to share those, but keep on sharing them because we're a team. We're going to help each other out. And so a couple things that I want to suggest. If you are a decision for your healthy solution in phase 1, make sure to focus on that minimum. Get in your 3 shakes and your 2 entrees and your 5 servings if you're healthy solutions, or your 5 shakes or your 3 shakes and 2 entrees, depending on what your diet prescription is for that day. And make sure you take extra with you. An option is to potentially go later to the meal so that you can avoid at least the first plate is made and just have maybe the second round to get through. Also, if you participate in a class, make sure you go to that class that week after, either in the clinic or remotely, so that you can continue to get that support and continue to stay on track going into the new year. So unfortunately, we are well over time, so I apologize for keeping you guys over by several minutes. And as we do wrap up, I want to remind you that you want to check out the additional recipes. We have appetizers, we have additional desserts, we have also other menu items that you may want to add to your menu. And I will be checking the comments. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, make sure to post below. I will be checking them throughout the night and as well as into tomorrow. And I want to thank you for taking the time to join me and also supporting me in my debut of Facebook. And I think I can speak to everyone at HMR and also with my family. We want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving from all of us here. You can't see my little one, but we just want to say happy Thanksgiving to you. And thank you for supporting me and joining me. So you guys have a wonderful night. Bye. Make sure to keep commenting.